When you hear the word ecosystem, what comes to mind? You might think of large places like deserts or swamps or national parks with vast mountain ranges. But did you know that scientists called urban ecologists are studying ecosystems in the middle of cities? Why in the world would an ecologist want to study an urban ecosystem? Well, people live in urban ecosystems. Ecologists study how people's actions can change the flow of energy through an ecosystem. Energy in all ecosystems starts with the sun. The sun's energy flows to producers. Plants are producers. They use the sun's energy to produce food for themselves and other organisms. Plants are eaten by consumers such as deer. Consumers use energy from the plants they eat to survive. There are also consumers that eat other consumers. A deer might be eaten by a coyote, for example. Coyotes use the energy from the deer they eat to survive. When the coyote dies, birds and other animals may eat most of the coyote's remains and leave the rest to decomposers. Decomposers break down the dead organism and use its energy for their own life cycles. Energy always moves through ecosystems in this way, from the sun, through producers, through consumers, and eventually decomposers. So how can human beings change the flow of energy in an urban ecosystem? Well, people eat food and throw away the scraps. Those scraps add a new energy source to an ecosystem. The food scraps may be a source of energy for insects or mice. And who eats those insects or mice? Well, consumers such as birds or coyotes might move into the city to find food. In fact, there are populations of coyotes in American cities. Coyotes eat food scraps and small mammals that feed on those scraps. Another way that humans can change the flow of energy in an ecosystem is by introducing a new species to an area. For example, plankton and algae in this lake use energy from the sun to grow. The native fish in the lake eat the plankton, using their energy as food. But let's say that people introduce a new species of fish to the lake. The new species gobbles up the plankton before the native fish can get enough. As the new fish consume the plankton, the native fish population gets smaller. The lake ecosystem has now changed. The new fish population produces more waste, which is food for organisms in the lake. The larvae of midges, a type of small fly, consume food underneath the water. When the midges reach the water surface, they become food for birds, frogs, and other animals. By eating the plankton, the new fish species reduce the flow of energy to the native fish, but the new fish species also provided a new source of energy for the birds and the frogs. The flow of energy and the interactions between organisms and ecosystems is always changing. This is why there are ecologists who study wildlife in urban ecosystems. Who knows, one day that might be you.